Tabletop Spotlight, brought to you by Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy. Hey everyone, I'm AdamHarry from Bella Souls with
Drake from Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy.
And we're back with another Tabletop Spotlight. Drake, you brought the others.
I brought the others.
Now, side note, I've actually already opened this one up before and taken a look. I am so stoked. Is this now out in stores and that's why you brought it?
Yeah.
So good. I am so pumped to get in here, man.
Yeah. We got a couple in at the store. I looked at it, looked it over, was entranced by the minis. Really, really interesting. I love it.
Yeah. I can't wait to get back in this box because, again, those minis are just so freaking cool. So let's do it. Let's jump inside the others. All right, Drake, are you ready for this, man? It's the others. All right, so real quick, front of the box.
Veritable Pandora's box.
Back of the box. You can see here, tons of stuff in here. I'm not going to spoil everything for you since, but there's everything already. All right, here we go, man. I'll let you do the honors, actually. Right. You go right ahead.
Let's get here.
It's pretty hefty, right? It's got some girth.
Yeah. So I'm recognizing Cool Mini or not.
Yep. Cool Mini did this one. Guillotine Games. Eric Lang is the one of the designers, I think, or the designer. I can't remember quite, but he's done a bunch of stuff.
Ooh. So they got a couple different artists on this because this is definitely kind of a different style.
A little bit different, yeah.
We'll have to dive into that in a second.
We will, for sure. We got plenty of tokens.
Tokens and
this is one of the
maps.
mission sheets.
So we've got, so this basically runs it down like this is where we are, how we're going. I got you.
Yeah. And there's several different missions in there. I'm not going to, we'll get to those too. We can open that up and show
Authority of Interdiction of Transdimensional Horrors. Faith.
That's right.
Federal Authority, sorry. So it spells faith. Oh, hello, Pride.
Yep. So where do you want to start, man?
Oh, jeez.
Well,
these are like layers. Oh, man. All right.
One of the cool things about having Cool Mini produce this is that they do these really cool boxes,
I'm a fan
layouts.
of the boxes.
The way they do
think that they'd be pre-built.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So we're going to move these boxes. We'll open these up separately.
This got 8 times better.
Yeah. So keep going, man. You keep on keeping on. Here we go.
All right. Well, this, I'm automatically going for him.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It's taped. So
oh.
They trick you that way.
Fiends.
Well, that is a fiend. It is. I'll keep going. How about that? We got the Hellfire Cards. We've got more cards. These are for the heroes and stuff like that. There's other cards in there. We've got dice, which are all specialty dice, and then more D6s for the heroes to use. We've got even more stuff here. I really like how they did this box. I'm not gonna lie. All the extra cardboard to keep everything in place, and it makes cleanup a lot better. Oh. So, did you get them out of the box?
Oh.
Show this off. Very cool.
It's something.
And it's all pre-built?
Yeah, he's all completely pre-built. He's not terribly brittle. There's a little bit of give on him, so I'm not worried about things like snapping off.
Actually, this material, I don't want to freak you out, but check this out. Bounces right back.
That's awesome.
You could drop this whole model.
And he just bounces
and
once and he's fine.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to damage anything in here in the box, but yeah, it's very cool.
I like the look that he's like in a wind tunnel or something.
But it's such a good model. It's a unique material. I know it's not regular plastic and it's a different material than the PVC stuff that we've seen in other manufacturing, but it's good stuff.
Do you know how well this holds paint?
It actually holds paint really well. Obviously, if you paint it, you don't want to go around bending it.
Right.
For obvious reasons, but the detail on it's good enough. It's got a little bit of a mold release. That's where that shine kind of comes in.
Yeah, I can tell.
But if you scrub it real quick, just probably do not warm water, just like regular water, like cool, not cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Tap water, little soap, scrub it off a little bit, real quick. Should hold paint really.
Why
easy.
doesn't everyone use this?
I don't know. I don't know. But you can see that it holds the detail. It's not resin because it's not brittle like resin is. Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. And but it holds the detail really, really well. You can see all the little scales on this stuff.
Yeah, even just like the little folds in his skin from where it's stretching like up against his mouth on the back of his hands. Like it's got those really fine creases.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So this is just one of the models in here.
This is the biggest.
Right, obviously. This is like the centerpiece for sure, but of the whole set. The rest of the models in here are made of the same type of material and have about the same amount of detail. It's a little bit harder because they're a little bit, obviously, like, miniature size, but this big model, you can really see all the details of.
Nice.
So, very cool stuff. We'll keep moving on though. Quick gushing over that miniature. So here we have, these are city tiles. And then a couple of the acolytes from the different parts of the game, which we'll get into when we get into the rules. But we've got the corrupted hobo, the corrupted doctor, and the corrupted nun here. And then, of course, these are different city tiles. So we also have, these are the apocalypse. This is the apocalypse track in here, which as that advances, bad stuff happens, you can see. These cards right here are the team members. So you get a stack of those.
Oh, so these are your character cards.
Character cards,
those are dense, nice.
Yeah.
They're not like flimsy little...
Yeah. Do you want to go take a look at the rest of the minis?
So this is the bottom. So
yeah, this is the bottom.
Okay.
It's just, that's it. So
yeah, let's
move this out of the way.
SSN-001-2.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that is. What's in the box, Trey?
Shoot. They're all housed in this plastic, which I guess is a good thing.
Yep, those are the heroes.
Color markers, gotcha.
Yep. The colors coordinate with the type of hero they are. So some of them are like a range, some of them are melee. One of them is a leader. That's the yellow one. So, but yeah, pretty cool stuff. Go ahead and take a look at it because it's, I mean, yeah.
And so you mentioned earlier that these two are actually the same character.
Correct. He transforms into the werewolf. You can tell the big glaive sword he has is the same one. So there you go.
Ding.
Yep.
Dibs.
But
you got a tiefling.
Oh yeah.
Tiefling Ghost Rider.
Right. He's got a big. It's kind of hard to see because of the color of the plastic.
Yeah,
it's that light blue. But it's the detail on, you can make out, folks at home, the detail on these miniatures is actually really good. I know it's really hard to see because of the glare and just the color of the plastic. That light blue doesn't.
Poison Ivy with elbow snakes.
She does have elbow whips. She is not. She's a kind of a possessed chick.
Oh, they're tentacles.
They are tentacles.
Or are they robotic?
No, they are definitely tentacles.
Oh, ooh.
And you got a couple of like human soldiers that are like your ranged shooter guys.
Got Mr. 76 over here.
Yep. And I believe this is the leader. So, one of them.
Does she have an eye patch?
Probably.
Dope.
Nick Fury had an eye patch. Same. That's another ranged
kind of
character.
Gizmo. Yeah. He's got an Uzi.
Hey, I would
me off.
Yep. So,
right
cool
on.
stuff.
I like how those stack.
Do they stack that way? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just kind of.
And then
put
those back in there. I'll go ahead and pop this one open. Sure. This is the
which I assume are just full of fatties.
Pretty much. This is
God.
Everything in there.
Some of those are gross.
Absolutely. So you may recognize these from
I see
such films as Corrupted Hobo, Corrupted Doctor, and Corrupted Nun. You've got them right here.
Yep, I see the doctor.
So that's one of the doctor. There's a doctor like that. There's also like a nurse. Yeah, the corrupted nurse, which is also, I guess, a doctor or whatever.
Straight out of Silent Hill.
Yeah. They have tentacles and grossness coming out of them.
Mr. Doomsday.
That's gross. We got a couple of choir boys.
A
couple of nuns.
Yep.
A couple of hobos.
This is another vagrant or just a businessman?
Yeah.
Just a dude.
Just crazy.
And a pack rat.
Creepy.
I think I recognize this from Dark Souls.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Freaky.
So yeah, super freaky stuff. Very cool sculpts.
Woof.
We have the monsters basically. This here is I believe Sloth, and then the red ones are the Hell Club. Yeah. So you have this big brute guy.
You got Nemesis. We got those twins from
Hellraiser.
I was gonna say.
Oh, The Shining. Huh? Both. There's a lot of movies.
Yeah. There's lots of freaky twins.
Lots of freaky twins.
Oh, speaking of Hellraiser.
Yeah.
We got Pinhead himself.
Yeah. Somebody, I don't know.
He looks freaky.
Yeah. Again, I know these probably aren't shown up the best just based on the color of the plastic, but they have.
He's the most normal of the Hellfire Club. He's the president.
President and also a member. But
this guy's a scuba diver with a book. Can't read and swim. Idiot.
But yeah, these are just the creepy monsters. There's tons of.
I like the layering on the sloth slugs.
Yeah.
They've got like this kind of thing.
Yeah. Whatever sound you just made, that's what I have in my head now forever.
It's just
so.
I'm just channeling how I feel. What are these? Ooh, little corruption tentacle markers.
Yep. Corruption and then wound markers down there too.
Ooh. So. Oh, I like that. I like that. Yeah. Oh, so these are like placed on the player sheets.
They can be. They're used. We'll show it off in the rulebook, but yeah, just hearts and tentacles.
Like
and then
hearts.
Again, sloth is just.
Yeah.
I gotta show this guy off a little bit more because he's just so well done and creepy and grotesque and. Look at that. I don't even want to know what those organs are hanging out the back. Disgusting. His brain's exposed, but just all the detail they're managed to like squeeze into these models. And
I like his arms.
Again, it is that same kind of forgiving material. Yeah, let's call it the forgiving material. But very cool models. Yeah, Drake, what else do you want to open up, man? Because we got a lot of stuff to start with.
Geez.
What's next?
Let's take a look at the characters.
Okay, cool.
I think.
So let me open this one up then. A little tricky. Actually, you want to pause and we can lay everything out and then go from there?
All right, yeah, let's do that.
All right, so we've got the hero cards all laid out, and also the enemy cards and the APOC track here laid out. And you can kind of see what all you're getting here. This is really fun to do. So Carl is a shapeshifter.
Right.
Carl turns into Carl.
Turns into Carl Wolf. Griffin's Wolf.
So, yeah, pretty straightforward. They are, again, color coordinated with their class type. So reds for the bruisers, blues for the shooters, green for the fixers, and then Leah here is the leader. She's yellow. So, and they all have different abilities and stuff like that. Different types of attack. Like looking here, you can see like their defense 3, 4 melee attack, and then perception's like a 2. So it varies.
Okay, so it looks like the bruisers are kind of your melee brawlers. It seems like they have a little bit more of endurance. She heals. He's got this kind of protector thing. Shooters are self-explanatory. With fixers, it seems like heavy on utility.
They are. They have the 4 perception, which you have to roll that to get specific effects when you do missions and stuff like that. So
right.
They are very necessary. Yeah, it's cool stuff. And then of course the 2 shooters, which
bang bang.
Yep. And then Leah, the leaders obviously does have the eye patch.
Always.
Yeah. It just lets helps you complete missions. So kind of a support, but also good, pretty much all around character.
I feel like you always need a leader.
Right. You're gonna take Leah for every mission, I believe, just about. And then you can kind of mix and match your team based on that. So also based on the number of players, you can control 1 or 2 heroes depending. If you're playing like a 2-player game, you can have a couple heroes.
So I'm noticing like it looks like these little punch-out slots for those corruption tokens to fit in.
Yeah.
And there's these kind of like effects that go up. So it seems like gaining corruption gives you benefits, but probably at some other kind of detriment.
Yeah, there's some bad stuff that can happen if you fill them up. So.
How bad?
Yeah. Yeah. So real quick, these are the 2 types of enemies. So obviously you've got
Sloth of Pride.
Yep.
I like the symbols.
Yep. And it shows you kind of like when you're using these guys. This is kind of for the not game master because you don't really need one because it's co-op. But like when you're rolling, this is what happens. So you've got the abomination, the controller over here. Abomination and controller. Those are the guys you were making sounds for. And yeah, so there's the avatars.
The cultists controlling the abominations for each of these guys.
No, they just show up. It's weird. It's a. I mean,
and
it depends on the mission and stuff.
Or like different kind of stats.
Yeah, they're nasty. And then of course, if it gets really bad, the avatars show up, and then
then you gotta take them on, and they're pretty goofy.
Literally all hell has just broken loose.
Right.
Because
as indicated by the Apocalypse track.
Bingo. So Apocalypse track, yeah. So anyway, that's pretty much it for these cards. These are kind of front and back, but not really. It just shows,
It's got a theme. I assume they're all alpha team.
They are actually all alpha team, which means
suggests that there'll be a beta team.
Bingo. And maybe a Charlie team. I don't know how many expansions they got planned.
Yeah.
But
obviously they got 2.
They got 2.
They got a lot more to pull from.
There's 5 more.
So I'm looking for expansions.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do hero packs as well. Obviously,
so the alpha team.
Yeah. So, do you want to cut real quick and take a look at the tiles?
Yeah, let's open the maps.
All right, let's do it. All right, so you get plenty of tiles. Real quick too, we double stacked a couple of them, but the tiles are used for the missions. They have symbols on them that you can use when you like tile effects that you as the hero can go and do stuff on. The missions will actually show you how they're laid out and what the trigger effects are.
Yeah,
But
and what course correlates to this? This looks like this is probably like a loot symbol. It got Caduceus, maybe some kind of communications thing.
yeah, exactly. Like if you need to go
Sanctuary
activate,
church.
2 or 3, satellites or something like that. There's this one. They have like symbols on them too that you have to like
Yeah.
can do corruption and stuff like that. Where pride or sloth, you have to go spawn points, and they represent a lot of different things within the game. So.
Yeah, I like how general they are. Like
Yeah.
it seems like they're fairly
And they're not
adaptable.
Right, exactly, and they're listed on the back to
Listed.
give you the number, and the missions will actually list out. This is tile SO4, so you use that tile here. So, but they look really good, and it's quick moving around and doing stuff on the board. So, yeah.
I like this gallery artifacts.
Right.
And then we have the these other enemies as well.
We've got these. We've showed off a little bit.
Which are
But
acolytes.
yeah, these are the acolytes. Which, if enough of these guys run around, then they can end up summoning the other stuff, and
Okay.
kind of triggers that way. So, yeah, they're gross and creepy for sure. So, yeah. Time to look at the rules.
Yeah.
Rule time. Drake is befuddled here by the crazies. Let's take a look at the rules real quick. So this is a rule book for the others. A couple of quick call outs. Full color, really well done. I think it's 43 pages, 44 if you count the back, which is just a rule summary. This book is a lot more complicated than it needs to be, I think, as far as like stuff in there. It just has a lot of examples to explain how everything works. So don't get intimidated by that page count or the number of rules. It's really not that bad. It's just, this is your basic turn actions. With the setup, you do have to, put your team together, figure out which sin you're fighting. In this case, you've got either pride or sloth. You get the appropriate acolytes, choose the story, set up the map, and then do all your stuff like that. Any final preparations. The round sequence is really quick. It's really not that bad. Start of the round. You do any of the story tasks for each mission that you're playing. It's got story tasks associated with those, so just follow those on the cards. It's pretty simple. And then you pick who's going to go first. The hero goes. It's a really simple turn-based game, so in terms of like who goes when. So spend a hero turn token, and you can actually do stuff to get more hero turn tokens. The leader, for example, can give another hero an extra one. That lets you let you do stuff like move and take an action, or take an action and then move. So yeah, and then breaks it all down right there. Then the sin reactions go, and then you do all that stuff where the fighting happens and stuff like that. End of the round. Just keep going. So once you get into the flow of the game, it's really not that complicated.
It picks up pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's got rules for the monster movement. So, for example, monsters can't leave a space with a hero. They're trying to hurt the heroes, so they wouldn't.
Right.
Heroes take 1 wound if they leave a space with monsters. So heroes can fall back, but you get swiped at. Fire and/or corruption check each time a hero enters or leaves a space with a fire and/or corruption check. So obviously, if you're set on fire,
don't run there.
Right. Cleansing area. That's pretty straightforward. Starting a fight, how that works. We're not going to get into all that. And then different NPCs and stuff like that. So we'll flip through it real quick. Like I said, it's a lot more intimidating than it probably should be. It does have story information as well. So there's quite a bit of story to read through for each one of the missions.
That's cool.
Quick rundown of all the components, which is important. These are the storyboards. We haven't really gone through those, but they're pretty straightforward too.
You don't want to spoil nothing either.
I don't, exactly. Overview, again, you kind of went through most of the stuff with the back of the sheet there. I'm just going to skip around a little bit. Choose the map. Again, color coordinated, so you know who's who. Whenever you build a team, because there's 7 heroes in the box, typically you're only going to take 4 into a game.
Right.
And they tell you how many players. You can play solo. You control 3 heroes. And then it also tweaks the types of encounters and stuff like that too. So if you play 4 players, obviously each player is playing 1 hero, and it kind of goes on from there. Pick the story. We went through the turn sequence already. Again, there's stuff that happens where like areas get infected or corrupted or whatever. You got to do stuff to fix them. And then you can also do stuff where, again, the city actions where you actually can do stuff. The background of the story is like I don't know if this is the last city on the planet that's free of corruption or whatever, and the faith heroes are there to kind of fight off the sin to keep it safe. So pretty straightforward gameplay. It's really not that complicated once you get into it, like I've been saying.
You just move around and bang, bang.
Quick hero breakdown real quick. Said real quick a lot. It says the class we've talked about, the corruption track we've mentioned, their name and all that fun stuff. So they have their fight stat, their skill stat, which I called perception earlier, but it's basically the same thing. Their base defense, and then any natural abilities. And then some of the heroes have shape-shifting, so. The sin boards are pretty straightforward, same deal there. Depending on the mission, it can up the hell club and all that other stuff too. But you can see it's pretty well done. Lots of stuff to go through. We're not going to go through everything, but explaining the movement phase and stuff like that. So rolling dice. This is important. I want to show this off just because the D6s are different. So there's a sin dice roll, corruption, hit with burst, blank, no effect. So the hit with burst is like a crit. You roll again.
And it explodes.
Yeah. Hero dice, same deal. You got a hit, counter corruption, cancels one corruption. Defense, cancels one hit. Skill, removes one exploration token. Faith, immediately roll an extra die. It's kind of like the exploding thing. So, but yeah, it's really straightforward. Gameplay is fun, fast, frenetic. The corruption track does move up, which can be good or bad, depending on how far along the track you go. And then it talks about the Hell Club and what happens when a hero dies. So, the end is near.
I'm grabbing with my 4 hands.
Yeah, he doesn't have a foot.
He's got a pig leg.
I don't think that's a peg.
He's got a.
It's bad times.
Dude.
Get that checked out by the doctor. Is what I'm saying. But that's the quick run through of the others. Rulebook. Really fun game. Really awesome models. I don't know how else to say, man. Any questions? Anything you're thinking of?
No.
Did we miss anything?
Despite how large this game, because a lot of the time we see games this size, and there's like, all right, we got to gear up for it. But it seems like, at least relatively, you could bust this out. They're all pre-built. You just got to snap those bases on the heroes if you need to.
Right.
And you can start playing as soon as you punch out the 2 sheets of tokens. But
pretty much.
It seems like the turnaround as far as like opening the box to being able to sit down and play it is fairly quick compared to as we see with kind of games like this.
Setup is really fast. You're right.
Because it's so modular, like you've got that kind of stories laid out pretty quick, and it didn't look like any story used more than like 4 or 5 of the tiles at a time.
Some of them, some of the end game, quote, in air quotes, harder ones use more of the tiles, but you're right. Like it's very modular. It's very fast to set up. Missions are very self-explanatory. The cards, the hero cards that we looked at earlier, very useful. Very, everything's out in the open, and once you get into the rhythm of a game term, you're going to be going on it, no problem.
Yeah, so this is kind of is a minis game. It's a little bit RPG, a little bit of
absolutely
combat-y thing, but it's relatively light.
Yeah,
compared to some other games like that. Like you don't have to build the minis. The stuff's already here. It seems rule-wise fairly light.
There's a lot of pages.
Very exaggerated as far as like examples and like visuals. Like all the pictures took up a lot of.
They want to make sure everything is very clear and concise when you're flipping through it, because like I said, once you get into the flow of the game and you played a couple rounds, it's gonna go by so quick. You're gonna be like, oh wow, that was super simple. Occasionally, you may come across like, I don't know what happens here. Exactly, and they want to keep you covered in the rules. So it's really tight. It's a really good game. I've got to play a couple rounds of it. It's fun. So
cool.
Let's hop out for a really quick recap. So that was the others. Pretty awesome stuff. Again, produced by Cool Mini or Not, Guillotine Games, and Studio McVeigh actually worked on a lot of the models and stuff. So absolutely, very cool stuff. Again, game designed by Eric Lang, who does a bunch of cool stuff for Cool Mini or Not, and just an obscene amount of board games and card games. He's everywhere, but he's great. So we love seeing his stuff.
In stores now.
Yep. Crunch the numbers. Price point on this one.
Price point is $99.99.
Yep. And it makes sense. It makes sense. There's a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah. More
the minis are awesome.
If nothing else, it's the minis. They call it like the materials and this stuff. Like it's pretty decent cards. Like kind of heavy card on a lot of the characters. The character like cards, I guess.
Yeah.
The tiles. But there's a lot of minis. How many minis you get in here total?
I think it's 47. Yeah. Ton of stuff.
Which is a lot.
Dang. Age-wise, we're looking at 14 and up.
Yeah,
which kind of makes sense.
Again, like
saw some of the more mature stuff in there. It's not that mature, but you know what I'm saying. Adult games.
Like some of the
Use your best
visuals
judgment.
are pretty.
Yeah.
So
gameplay wise, I have played a couple of these missions. They take about, I want to say 90 minutes, just from personal experience.
Probably at least an hour and a half.
Yeah,
maybe 2
hour
if it's
and a
your
half.
first time. But
Right.
even then, it seemed really accessible once you got
It will get faster the more you play. So, like Jake was saying, it's very accessible to jump into, and your first time might take a little bit longer than 90 minutes. But if you schedule about 90 minutes per mission per session or whatever.
And is this 2 to 4 players or 2 to 5?
It's actually 1 to 5, I believe.
Oh.
Because you can play solo.
That's cool.
Or actually, it might be 1 to 4.
2 to 5.
It is 2 to 5.
2 to 5.
Right. So you can play one player, one hero. That's what I was getting at.
One
hero
and
player,
one person
and
playing the Sims.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now,
Gotcha.
you could actually do this completely solo. I wouldn't recommend it, just because then you'd have one dude control the heroes, and then you're playing.
That's kind of...
They have their own rules. You can do it. You can do it hypothetically. So again, 2 to 5 players. Go check it out in stores right now. The others. I'm AdamHarry from Bell Lost Souls.
And I'm Drake with Dragons and Comics and Fantasy.
And this has been another Tabletop Spotlight. Thanks again for watching. Tabletop Spotlight brought to you by Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy. Thanks for watching.